as a guy, we grow up thinking we can generally be one of two ways. Think of it another duality. People go, I can be a good person, I can be a bad person. But as guys, we hear or see there's the alpha and then there's the beta. What's interesting is there's usually not a third, fourth, fifth option. Now there's the sigma, there's the omega, there's different things, but it's generally these two. Let's look at them for a minute. The alpha generally operates in hierarchy. He's at the top. He needs people underneath him. He needs to be predominantly in control. He has to lead. It can come from a place of strength. It can come from a place of insecurity. Women feel safe with the alpha because he's in charge. He has a plan. He has a direction. Sometimes this can show up as genuine love. Sometimes this can show up as like macho man, dick measuring, being afraid, and just having to be the biggest, strongest guy, which again can be an insecurity, can be his essence. So he is about leading, taking charge, dominance, control, having a plan, paving the way. And sometimes he doesn't really care how people are feeling. He needs to take charge. Someone needs to lead, someone needs to make things happen, someone needs to make a plan. But also he can have a big heart. But we have kind of archetype number one. And before we get into archetype number two, most people looking at the alpha and the beta would prefer to be the alpha. Why? He's a leader. The beta is a follower. If both these men were in the bedroom, the alpha would be in erection, the beta would be limp. Moving on to the beta, the interesting thing about the beta is most betas don't want to be betas. I'll say that again. Most betas don't want to be betas. However, it's a guy who wants to be compassionate, kind, understanding, gentle, loving. Where the alpha needs to lead, the beta needs to be led. He needs to submit. He needs to follow something or someone, his boss, his wife, government, corporations, whatever it is. So what's the challenge with this? Well, first of all, which one's the right one? Which one's the wrong one? Well, there isn't, right? The first thing to look at is, as a guy, we're growing up in a frame of going, you can be this guy or this guy. What a boring fucking way of looking at life. And as men, we don't take a moment to stop and to think about this. Like, what a weird way of looking at life. You can be this or that. And then what you might be thinking now is like, Phil, is this for you to talk about the sigma or the omega? Not really. My point is, most guys don't think outside those two pillars, alpha and beta. For me, if I have to look at these different hierarchies and things, or archetypes, I would be more of a mainly sigma with some alpha tendencies at times, right? But it's such a boring way to look at life if you can only be two or three things. So why I made this video is a new breed of man is emerging. Now, is it the majority of men? No. The majority of men are stuck in control or be controlled. And I'm not making either of those wrong. If you're someone who's choosing to be a beta and not choosing to grab your balls and find out what you're here, even though you're scared and you're doing it, life is kind of rough. But also if you're an alpha and you're a control freak and you need to be in charge and you're disconnected from your heart, you may have the accolades of life. You may have the women, the cars, the money, but then there's a lacking as well. So my invitation to you, my challenge to you is to decide what kind of man you want to be. And again, it's not a third, look at that. It's not a third option of I want to be this guy, but it's to really sit with yourself and go, who do I want to be? I would ask you this question, and you can figure it out on your own, however it shows up. What does it look like if you were just to take a couple of those components that you can be so strong that you can be sensitive, that you can be gentle, that you can be kind, that you're the kind of guy who can take care of a baby, and also you can absolutely get in a fight and whoop someone's ass if you need to, but you don't need to just to show, that you're in charge or you're tough. What's your relationship to connecting your heart and your caring and your love and your compassion with your balls, with your fire, with that animal part of you? We live in such a unique time on planet Earth. It's 2025. The next 20 years will probably have more growth and innovation than the last 100, 500, depending on how you look at it. And as a guy, you get to choose who you want to be right now. You don't have to be an alpha. You don't have to be a beta. You could be a zeta. You can choose a whole new archetype that doesn't even exist yet. The important part is to discover who we are and that you get to choose. You get to choose, why did God put you here? Well, depending on what you believe, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you just follow why God put you here. And it's surrendering to something bigger than you. Or maybe you feel it. Or maybe you go, I think God gave me 10 good options and here's the one I'm going to pick. But what kind of guy do you want to be? What's most important to you? What do you want to value? We're in a time right now where going forward, most men will choose to fall. Alpha or beta, you can be a tech millionaire who's just kind of weak and lost in money and doesn't have any purpose. You can be a new age beta spiritual guy who's really great at sharing his feelings. He can't hold much space. He talks about his emotions a lot, and he's at a never ending cacao mushroom ceremony where there's unlimited free hugs. You can be anyone you want, but who do you want to be? What's your heart? What's a deeper part of you calling to be? And what do you want to do with that? You're the kind of guy that has been in relationships in the past that knows there's something unique in him, that wants to be a better, healthier, stronger, smarter version of himself, just to expand even more, to whether it's improve your current relationship or create something even better and build a family. The first thing we need to decide is, who are we as a guy? And it's funny, I was thinking about this more today. Sometimes we can have something challenging to do and we can go, I gotta take these action steps. I gotta figure out this. What's interesting when we really decide to map out life and like, hey, this is who I am. Like I was talking to someone who hates answering emails. And it's like a thing that's bothered them. But they don't identify as a guy who answers emails regularly or daily. They can do weekly, but not daily. So rather than going, I gotta push through, these actions of getting these emails done, to be a guy who identifies as being consistent, that they're answering emails every day. You might go, well, that's kind of silly. Well, it shows up in all kinds of things, whether it's how we treat ourselves, how we treat our family, how we treat our kids. The point from today's video is to break free and decide that you can be a new breed of man, that you get to fucking decide. It's not alpha, it's not beta, and maybe one or both of those resonate with you. But you get to truly cast a vision and pave the way and pave the direction of your life, of who you are right now, of who you're becoming, of the money you want to make, of the family you want, of the relationship you want. You get to choose life on your terms. And that's the new breed of man.